Unique photographs of UFOs in the USSR, the discovery of extraterrestrial objects by archaeologists and historians, as well as archaeological discoveries that will definitely surprise you. Could the treasures of Atlantis exist under the Sphinx? What is the strange package that found its recipient after more than 100 years? Watch this video about these finds and more. Hi friend, you're on the KirTop channel. The Roman Emperor became a woman. There are many stories about the reign of the Roman Emperor Heliogabalus, who reigned from 218 to 222 AD. The North Hertfordshire Museum in Hitchin, UK, which houses a coin associated with the emperor, has decided to use the feminine pronoun she when referring to Heliogabalus. This is based on the records of the Roman historian D. Cassius, who claimed that the emperor preferred female address. "Do not call me master, for I am a lady," said Heliogabalus according to Cassius. However, there is an opinion that Cassius Dion was biased towards the emperor and deliberately distorted his description. References to makeup and other aspects of Heliogabalus's appearance may have been deliberately exaggerated to undermine his authority. Many historical sources about the emperor make comments about the dubiousness and provocative information about him. What do you think about this? Which famous ancient character will modern historians change gender? Write your opinion in the comments under the video. UFO on the cover of an 18th century book. The discovery of an image of a UFO on the cover of a book by Johann Funk, published in 1716, has caused widespread controversy among ufologists. This image, depicting a classic flying saucer surrounded by bright lightning, is seen by many as confirmation that aliens visited Earth as early as 300 years ago. Despite controversy over whether alien visits actually occurred in the 1700s, the find confirms that people of the time were also interested in the idea of extraterrestrial civilizations. As always, people are divided into types. Some believe in UFOs, others are skeptical about such assumptions. Ufologists wonder about the technological development of aliens. Assuming that they actually visited Earth in the 18th century, how did their technology remain unchanged for 3 centuries? This refers to the shape of an alien ship. Found the place where the Book of Deer was written. Archaeologists in Scotland have discovered a long-lost monastery that is about 1,000 years old. The site appears to be associated with the creation of the Book of Deer, one of the oldest surviving copies of Gaelic writing. The Book of Deer is a unique 10th century collection of gospel texts containing records in Latin, Old Irish, and Gaelic, now housed in the Cambridge University Library. It contains the Gospel of John, fragments of other Gospels, as well as historically significant records written in Gaelic. The site where the monastery once stood is located in Aberdeenshire, near the village of Mentlow. Archaeologists suggest that it was here that the unique records of the book were created, and excavations in 2022 confirmed this assumption. The excavation site uncovered post holes dating from the same period as the Gaelic entries in the book. In addition, finds include medieval pottery, glass shards, personal items, and game boards, indicating the existence of a monastery complex here. Where have all the trees gone? I will tell you about the importance of protecting our nature using the example of one island. Easter Island, located in the Southeast Pacific Ocean and famous for its unique statues, appears to us in a completely different light today. This island was once covered with lush green forest, but with the arrival of man, it lost its original appearance. The first inhabitants of the island were the Polynesians, who settled here despite the distance from the nearest continent, Chile. At one time, the population of the island reached 15,000 people, which, with its area of 160 square kilometers, amounted to 94 people per square kilometer. The main environmental disaster for the island was the deforestation of the unique palm trees Pachyliococcus dispersa. Gradually, settlers destroyed the forest to make way for agriculture and canoe building. With deforestation, soil erosion began, which led to its impoverishment and degradation, completely depriving the island of fertility. After deforestation, the soil soil left in place became fragile and vulnerable to tropical rainfall, losing nutrients. This resulted in Easter Island losing most of its endemic species, with the exception of the sedge Scirpus californicus. Today we have before us an example of how a careless attitude towards nature can lead to irreversible consequences. However, work on reforestation has already begun on Easter Island, which gives hope for its revival. Ancient paintings of UFOs. Recently, scientists often come across images of circles and triangles on the walls of ancient temples and caves. It may seem mundane, but the presence of flying objects in medieval religious paintings is surprising. I will show you 9 paintings that, according to ufologists, depict alien objects. The Annunciation was Saint Emitius, 1486. Painting by Carlo Crivelli. The ray of light from heaven in the picture is traditionally interpreted as a divine broadcast, but some ufologists see a UFO in this image. The Crucifixion of Christ, 1350. Painting from the Serbian monastery of Visoki Dekani. The picture shows 2 objects in the air that look similar to aircraft. The official version says that these are the moon and the sun, although in the Christian tradition they are not deified. The Ascension of Christ, 1710. The work of Arne de Gelder, stored in Cambridge. It depicts a disc-shaped object illuminating John the Baptist and Jesus Christ. Some believe that the artist may have conveyed hidden knowledge about UFOs. Madonna was Saint Giovannino, 15th century. Author Domenico Ghirlandaio. The painting shows a flying object above the Madonna's shoulder, which is pointed at by a man with a dog. Tapestry Triumph of Summer, 1538. Created in Bruges, kept in the Bavarian Museum in Germany. The tapestry depicts 3 disc-shaped objects which ufologists interpret as UFOs. The Miracle of Snow, 1428–1432. Work by Masolino de Panicle. The painting depicts an event from 4th century Rome where disc-shaped objects are visible in the air. Israel Trusts in the Lord, 17th century. Painting from the Dominican monastery in Siasoara, Transylvania. It shows a giant disc-shaped object above a burning church. Glorification of the Sacrament of the Eucharist, 1600. Author Bonaventura Salembani. The painting depicts Jesus Christ and God the Father with a globe, which some researchers interpret as a time-control panel. The Crucifixion of Christ, 17th century. Kept in the Swedish Kovshali Temple in Amskata, Georgia. On the sides of the cross there are objects with human faces, which ufologists consider to be confirmation of the extraterrestrial origin of Jesus Christ. As you may have noticed, all these paintings were painted in completely different parts of the planet, but the objects are to some extent similar to each other. Accidental find on the school playground. In England, in Brownstone, a 13-year-old school student made an amazing discovery while walking in the schoolyard. At first she thought the find was an ordinary 5-pence coin, but it soon became clear that it was a real treasure dating from the reign of William the Conqueror around 1069. This unique treasure was found by accident. Earlier, workers were replacing a lamppost on the school grounds and probably dug it to the surface. The girl found an object that seemed like an ordinary coin and showed it to the history teacher. He started looking for information on it and immediately realized that they had found something truly ancient. Experts from Leicestershire County Council confirmed the authenticity of the find. It appears that at the time the coin was in use, the site of the present school was either farmland or woodland with a nearby road linking Leicester to other cities. For a farmer or worker, losing such a coin would mean a great loss because it was of great value. Treasures of Atlantis under the Sphinx. Egyptologist Roman Arahov, a member of the International Association of Egyptologists, spoke about the low probability of discovering secret halls and treasures of Atlantis under the Egyptian pyramids. He recalled that the pyramids have been studied for centuries, and if there was something there, scientists would have found it long ago. The theme of secret chambers under the pyramids and the Sphinx at Giza arose thanks to the American mystic Edgar Cayce in the early 20th century, and although excavations have been attempted in the past, nothing similar has been discovered. Now the Egyptian authorities prohibit such research, which confirms the absence of hidden rooms. The Egyptologist also focuses on the difference in the concept of treasure with modernity and the past. For the ancient Egyptians, who lived in conditions where the main clothing was loincloth, modern ideas about treasures do not correspond to reality. Separately mentioned is the theory of Egyptologist Farouk al-Baz about the natural origin of the Great Sphinx. Construction expert Fyodor Vasilyev considers its logical, noting that the main material of the sculpture is limestone, which in itself is not very durable. In his opinion, erosion could only form general outlines, and further detailing was carried out by ancient craftsmen. I told you about this in the previous video. A Shulian chopper with fossilized clam. A unique hand chopper was found in England dating back to the Shulian era, about 1.95 million years ago. This artifact is interesting because of the fossilized mollusk on its surface. Scientists from the University of Cambridge examined it and came to the conclusion that the tool is no different in shape and manufacturing method from other Shulian hand choppers discovered in Britain. The dimensions of the hand chopper are 13 by 8 by 3.5 centimeters. It was previously assumed that the ancient master left the mollusk fossil because of its aesthetic value. However, the researchers believe that it would be impossible to do this due to the fragility of the chopper material. Fast dragons. Scientists from an international team discovered in Mongolia the remains of a unique species of dinosaurs that were distinguished by an unusual sleeping position reminiscent of modern birds. These fossils, dating back 71 million years, were found in the Barungoyo Formation in the Gobi Desert. It was previously assumed that the finds belonged to flightless birds of the family of small theropods Allosauridae, but careful analysis of the bones allowed scientists to reclassify the remains as Maniraptor dinosaurs. The scientific community even gave them a new name, Jachylinchus yaroi, which means fast tiny dragon. These dinosaurs measured about 1 meter in height and weighed approximately 30 kilograms. A giant complex of ancient settlements. Using modern technology, archaeologists from University College Dublin, together with Serbian and Slovenian colleagues, have made a significant discovery. They discovered many previously unknown Bronze Age settlements in the southern Carpathian Basin near Serbia. Analysis of satellite images and aerial photography made it possible to reconstruct the ancient landscape and discover a network of megaforts, huge prehistoric structures. These megaforts, previously known from sites such as Gradis Teos, Kanat Palota, Santana, and Kanesiakari, were previously considered isolated. However, new research has shown that they actually form a complex network. In its heyday, tens of thousands of people could live here. These sites, located along the Tissa River, were discovered in an area where almost all settlements are within 5 kilometers of each other. Scholars believe that local communities interacted peacefully with each other and were important centers in Europe during the Mycenaean, Hittite, and New Kingdom Egyptian eras. The mystery of a vanished ancient Roman city. Archaeologists in Italy have made an impressive discovery at the site of the ancient Roman city of Clatorna, known as the Pompeii of the North. Over 3,000 coins and 50 gems were discovered on the territory of this forgotten city, many of which are decorated with images of the deities of ancient Rome. This place, according to the Deputy Minister of Culture of Italy, is magical. Previously, a forum, mosaic streets, and Roman bath were found here, and now excavations have yielded thousands of silver and bronze coins, as well as precious stones engraved with deities and architectural elements. Notable among the coins is the quinarium, a rare silver coin from the Roman Republic dating back to 97 BC, which helps establish the age of the finds. It depicts a winged Nike on a shield, which may symbolize military victories and connections with Roman power. Scholars believe that Clatorna was not just a city but also a center of pilgrimage and trade, with close ties to Rome. There may have been a workshop in the city that produced coins and gems with unique engravings. The oldest parcel has found its addressee. In 1913, the 20-year-old son of a Berlin baker decided to test how far a bottle thrown into the Baltic Sea could float. Inside, he placed 2 stamps and a postcard with a request to return it if found. 100 years later, in 2014, Conrad Fischer from Kiel found this bottle while fishing. Inside were stamps and a worn postcard from Richard Platz. After investigation, it was possible to contact Platz's granddaughter, Angela Erdmann, for whom this message became an important family family artifact. This bottle became part of the exhibition at the Hamburg Museum. The chances that it would survive at sea seemed slim, but a miracle happened. The history of bottle mail goes back to antiquity. According to legend, the Greek philosopher Theophrastus in 310 BC used it to prove the connection between the Atlantic and Mediterranean seas. In Britain, until the 18th century, it was considered a crime to break such bottles and read their contents. And what about you? Have you ever found a letter in a bottle or sent one yourself? Share in the comments below the video. UFO in the USSR. At the end of the USSR and after its collapse, UFOs became a frequent topic of discussion. Residents regularly reported strange objects in the sky, special shows were shown on television, and urban myths circulated among people. Some UFO evidence involved secret missile tests that the general public was unaware of. In the 70s, 80s, stories about UFOs spread in the USSR. There were legends about a UFO crash in Yakutia in the 70s, a UFO explosion on the Kola Peninsula in 1981, and its destruction by a nuclear installation in Kazakhstan in 1983. Another story tells about mushroom pickers who allegedly photographed the interior of a flying saucer and then their traces were lost. There are even photographs that supposedly prove a UFO crash in the USSR, but upon closer examination they raised doubts. Soviet UFOs were more likely a manifestation of gnosis rather than evidence of extraterrestrial civilizations. There have also been cases in the United States when UFOs were caught on video, including those filmed by the military. For example, in July 2019, an unidentified object was spotted near the USS Omaha. The Pentagon suggests that UFOs may be of extraterrestrial origin. Even astronauts on the ISS observed strange objects, but often these turn out to be satellites. In the United States, there is laser equipment capable of creating plasma images that are sometimes mistaken for UFOs. But even with all these explanations, some cases remain a mystery. What do you think is really behind the UFO phenomena? Fantasy, technology, or something else? Write your versions under the video. And I will be glad if you subscribe to the channel and watch my next video, which I am already preparing for you. Thanks for your views, bye everyone!